What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into TTP Sports. Phillies dropped the series to the Miami Marlins. They lose today by a score of 7-3. Offense wasn't there. Nola was not good at all. Allows 3 home runs, 4 earned runs, 5 total. And it was just, once again, another situation where your pitching could not keep you involved and the offense completely just did not do enough at all. These last 2 games showed you that. When the pitching fully isn't there, your starters fully aren't there, and the bullpen can't keep it within reach, your offense needs to do way more, and your offense did not do much in these past 2 games. Specifically the top part of the lineup. If you're looking at the batters 1 through 5 in the Phillies lineup today, they went a combined 1 for 18 with 2 walks. That's not going to get it done. That's not going to win you any ball games. The bottom of the lineup was basically doing all it could. Bryce and Stott, who originally wasn't in the lineup today, but Josh Harrison was a late scratch, so thank God Stott got into the lineup because he had a multi-hit game. Sosa had a home run, Marsh had a hit, Pache had a hit, so your bottom 4 hitters were doing stuff. It was your top 5 that wasn't doing anything. Schwarber went hitless, Turner went hitless, Castellanos went hitless, Bohm went hitless. JT was the only guy in that top 5 that recorded a hit today. So yeah, not good enough at all. And Nola wasn't good either. He was just flat out bad. 3 home runs. So once again, Nola cannot have back-to-back good starts. That's just an anomaly this year. It cannot happen. For some reason, there's just something in Nola to where he can't throw 2 good starts in a row. And that's what's so frustrating about the guy that is Nola. Because when he is on his game and when he is pitching good, it is fun to watch. But then when he pitches bad, it is such a goddamn nightmare, and it makes me want to pull my hair out. It does. But then again, your offense needs to do way more. I need way more from this offense in the second half. Way more. I need way more from Kyle Schwarber. I need way more from Trey Turner. More from Nick Castellanos, honestly, because he's been slumping the past few games. Way more from Alec Bohm. Way more from JT. Way more from Bryce. Stott's doing his thing. I can't ask more from Pache from what he's doing because he's not an everyday player. Need more from Marsh, honestly. And there you go. Sosa's not an everyday player. I need more from the everyday. I need more power from Derek Hall if he's going to be the first baseman for most of the days. I need way more. I need way more. I don't know what you're going to be doing at the trade deadline this year. Power bat is a must. It's a must grab. I don't know many outfielders that are out there that are right-handed and also hit for power. Really, the only things that I can think of is really Hunter Renfroe from the LA Angels and Adam Duvall from the Boston Red Sox. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm not sure of any other power bats that you can slot into the outfield. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. I trust Dave Dombrowski to go out and find someone. Lane Thomas is a guy that always comes up and talks, but is Washington going to trade one of their young talents? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because it's Washington, so I wouldn't be shocked. What else can you think of? They're sure they're going to go after another, most likely back-end reliever, and also to speak of that, Jose Alvarado went back onto the 15-day IL with elbow inflammation. So, to my thoughts on he's not been the same since coming back from his original injury. There you go. There you go. So I wouldn't be shocked if Dave Dombrowski goes after someone for the back end of the rotation. Not the rotation, the bullpen. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets another back end rotation guy because you can't deal with Nola's inconsistencies at this point. It's honestly annoying, but I don't think they're going to be going after, a top end starter. I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. Bats. Maybe, spruce up the bench a little bit, get rid of Josh Harrison. And that's probably it. It's probably it. Who knows? Who knows? But Aaron Nola, man, it's just 3 home runs, dude. 3. Seriously, he throws how many pitches to the first 2 batters in the first inning? He gets 2 outs very quickly. And then all of a sudden, double home run on the first pitch. Where did that come from? Oh, I know where it came from. You're throwing 2 meatballs right down the goddamn middle of the plate to a team that is a free-swinging motherfucker. Seriously. I do not believe that... I fully believe that this Marlins team is fraudulent. I just don't see how this Marlins team is this good. They have the 5th most difficult schedule going into the second half, so that's really going to test to see if this team is for real or not. But this Marlins team just reminds me of, the 2018 Phillies, where they don't seem like a real threat. They just don't, in my opinion. Granted, I'm saying that when we lost 2 series to them already, but I just don't see with the way their team is made up that they can be successful. Their pitching, yeah, they could be successful because of their pitching. I don't see how they could be successful with their lineup. Rhys, he's a fantastic hitter, and Soler is basically the only power guy they got. This team does not hit home runs. They free swing at everything. Eventually, that's going to come back to bite you in the ass, right? When you're playing way better opponents. And on paper, yes, the Phillies are a way better team than Miami Marlins are constructed 10 times. I guess the Marlins just own us again. I guess they do. It's fucking frustrating. It is. It really is. Like I said, I just, for some reason, I don't see this Marlins team as a good team. I just don't. I don't like the way their roster is constructed. And all this when Sandy's not having a good year. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Like I said, maybe that second half schedule that they have, like I said, it's the 5th hardest schedule in baseball, behind the New York Mets, who have the 3rd, so go figure there. But they'll definitely be tested. I know they're not playing the Braves as much, who they've really struggled against, but they're playing, I believe, the Braves 3 more times going towards the end of the year for their schedule. And I'm trying to see where the rest of those things are for the Marlins. They play Atlanta 3 more times. They play Tampa Bay still. They play Baltimore. They play Texas. They play Dodgers 6 times. And they play Houston 3 times. So those are the toughest opponents on their second half schedule. I do believe they play the Nationals quite a bit. So, they're just basically off terms of competition. And the Phillies, I believe, in terms of toughest schedule, they're ranked 18th. So the Phillies technically have the 12th easiest schedule going into the second half. So I expect some good things there. But also go figure, the Braves have like the 7th easiest schedule going into the second half. So why not? Why not? Why give them anything easier? This Atlanta Braves team, they're just constantly rolling. Goddamn baseball on your goddamn schedule. Jesus. But looking through this game, Schwarber, like I said, this 1 through 5, 1 through 18 combined. Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos, Bohm, all 0 hits in this game. Bohm did have a walk and scored a run, but at the end of the day, it's not enough. JT had the lone hit out of those top 5 hitters. Bryson Stott was fantastic today, 2 for 3. Edmundo Sosa had a 2-run shot, 1 for 3 there. Brandon Marsh, 1 for 3. Christian Pache, 1 for 3. You went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and you left 4 guys on base. In terms of the pitching, Aaron Nola, 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned, 6 strikeouts. Yes, one of those runs was because of Alec Bohm bobbling a ball at first base. But have your defenders back a little bit there. Nola, grow some fucking backbone. Seriously, it was like, oh, he had 1 inning today where he allowed 2 leadoff hits, and he found a way to retire the next 3 guys. Wow, Nola, can you do that more? This is why Aaron Nola is so frustrating. And I praised him. I praised him at that game against Tampa Bay. This is why Aaron Nola makes me want to pull my hair out, because we saw what he did against the Tampa Bay Rays. And don't tell me that he needs something to motivate him to pitch the way as good as he did. Because there was all that talk about him and his relationship with Zack Eflin, how much they've been best friends, basically growing up through the entire Phillies organization. Don't sell me that. Don't tell me that Zack Eflin is the guy that you need to be motivated to pitch really good. It just shouldn't be. I feel like you should have more motivation to pitch against your goddamn brother, who you've played against many times, especially in the goddamn playoffs last year. So it shouldn't be this difficult to throw back-to-back good games. It just shouldn't be this difficult. But for Aaron Nola this year, it is. It is. And you could throw me all the underlying stats about it, his innings pitched and all this stuff going throughout the league. He's unlucky and everything like that. What I'm looking for at face value, Aaron Nola has not been good enough. He has not been good enough. And yes, this series shows, like I said, that pitching cannot carry you through everything. They're eventually going to have their lapses. You know, some parts of the bullpen too. Matt Strahm gives up a run. Gregory Soto gives up a run. Even though that run that Gregory Soto allowed shouldn't have happened if Trey Turner fucking tagged the guy at second base. I don't know how he missed it. So, Trey Turner defensive lapses once again. Everyone expected he was going to be Gold Glovers. No, Trey Turner is not that good defensively. He's very athletic. He can get the most balls that people can't because he's so athletic, but he's not the best defender in the world. I don't know what people were expecting Gold Glove-wise from Trey Turner. It just wasn't going to happen. I had my damper expectations there. I had realistic expectations with Trey Turner's defense. Because he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good defensively. He's athletic, which makes him look better than he actually is. It's frustrating. Frustrating. Really is. Really is. So now, you came into this series 2.5 games behind the Marlins. I now believe in the wildcard standings, you're now still with a 3-way tie with the Giants and the Brewers, so technically you could be out of a wildcard spot tonight. Now you're 3.5 games behind the Marlins. You came into the series 2.5, now you're 3.5. So you were worse leaving this series than coming into it. God. Then the Brewers and the Giants, what are they doing right now? If I'm looking at everything. Brewers and the Giants. The Brewers played. They won, so they're not moving anywhere in the standings. I guess that's where it's placed. Where are the Giants at? They're playing right now against Colorado. And how have the Giants been? They've won one in a row. Currently, that game is 0-0 in the bottom of the third. So if the Giants win, they hold the third wildcard spot for a half-game lead on the Phillies. And the Giants technically hold the tiebreaker between the Phillies because they won the season series already. Because they did. They did. My goodness, this team. My goodness, this Phillies team. But if we want to look at the second half schedule, I know the MLB draft is tonight. I didn't want to wait that long for the draft just because the Phillies draft so low in the first round, and it's really a crapshoot when you get to that point. I know there's some names that are definitely intriguing. Maybe we'll talk about those tomorrow because I'm planning on because it's going to be weird this week because there's no Phillies baseball or anything like that for the next 4 days after today. It's Home Run Derby tomorrow, All-Star Game Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday is really nothing until Friday when they play again. So we're definitely going to have to think about what to do over the next couple of days. Maybe tomorrow we'll just have a hangout stream during watch the Home Run Derby. Maybe that'll be the thing, most likely. And then we can have discussions on who the Phillies draft, possibly. Maybe we can have a discussion on that tomorrow during the Home Run Derby. Like I said, there's intriguing names in that spot, but it's still always a crapshoot when you're drafting that late in the first round. It's like, I believe the Phillies have the 28th pick in the first round, or something like that. And they don't have a second round pick because they signed Trey Turner, so they lose that pick to the Dodgers. But if we look at the rest of the MLB standings, Phillies are now 48 and 41, 12 games behind the Braves. So I don't even know why I'm still looking at the NL East. They're not catching the Braves at all. You're 3.5 behind the Marlins. They're 53 and 39. In the wild card, we already talked about that. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was going to look at the schedule. That's what I was going to look at. Second half. Let's go. This is your schedule. This is the 12th easiest schedule according to the strength of schedule going towards the end of the season. So you start off with a 7-game homestand the second half. 4 games against San Diego. One of those days is a doubleheader. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 games. And then you have a 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. 3-game series on the road against Cleveland. and then a 3-game series at home against Baltimore, a 3-game series on the road against Pittsburgh, and then you're facing this Miami team again on the road for 4 games, so that's going to be fun. Then you have a 7-game homestand against the Royals and the Nationals, and that's going to be after the trade deadline. That Marlins series is during the trade deadline, so maybe you make some trades before then. August 11th, you have a 3-game series against the Minnesota Twins, a 2-game series on the road following that against the Toronto Blue Jays, a 3-game series against the Nationals, a 3-game series against the Giants, so you didn't lose the season series to them. You still have 3 more games against them. I was wrong on that, but you did get swept out there. So the only way to make it a little bit even is if you sweep them back at Philadelphia, which I highly doubt. The St. Louis Cardinals, 3 games after that Giants series. So it's a 9-game homestand. Giants, Cardinals, Angels from the 21st of August to the 30th. Then you have a 6-game road trip, 3 in Milwaukee, 3 in San Diego to start out the month of September. 7 games at home against Miami and 4 games against LA. Well, 7-game homestand in general, 3 against Miami, 7 against Atlanta. 3 games on the road in St. Louis, 3 games on the road in Atlanta. So that closes out the Atlanta series, so you really don't see them until September. Then you have, in the last, if I'm looking at this, 10 games. 4 against New York at home, 3 against Pittsburgh at home, and then 3 against New York on the road. So 7 out of your last 10 games of the season, or actually 10 out of your last 13 games of the season, are against the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. So what will the Mets look like by then? Probably still where they're around right now. We got to see what this team does at the trade deadline, how they're going to add, because no doubt Dave Dombrowski's going to add. He's going to have to, because you need more supplement to this lineup. You need more supplement on the bench. You need more supplement in the back end of the bullpen, just because guys are getting injured. So, you got to do a lot of things here. This offense needs to be 20 times better. This pitching has done so much for you over the past month and a half. You got to repay them. You need to go on an offensive surge in the second half. You need to be way better. Power-wise, runners in scoring position, all of that. The fundamentals, they're probably still going to be bad at. But who knows, maybe this week off just gives them a little bit of a jolt. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. Nick Castellanos is going to be Nick Castellanos, so I'm not worried about that. Bryce Harper, once he hits that home run, I believe he'll go on a surge, because he's just overdue for it. JT, I need a way better JT. Not these peaks and valleys that he's been doing the entire year. Bryson Stott's been Bryson Stott all year, so I'm not worried about him. Bohm, is he ever going to develop power? I have no idea. Most likely not. Who else? Marsh. More from Marsh, but he's still been solid nonetheless. And then basically your other guys, your defensive replacements. Pache has been great all year. Harrison's useless. Derek Hall, I need way more from him if he's going to be playing first base for the foreseeable future until Bryce Harper takes over that mantle. I need way more power from him. And just everything. You know Bryce is eventually going to be moving to first base. You know when that happens, Schwarber will be the DH, and that's just all according to what you do at the deadline. All according to what you do at the deadline. So yeah. You had a really good month of June. Slumped a little bit going into the month of July. 2 series losses. 5-4 in that span. So maybe the All-Star break is coming at a right time, I guess you can say. 4-2 on this road trip. In hindsight, it's a good road trip. But with the way you ended, not the best. Kind of limp dick, in my honest opinion. Just not. I don't know. Could have been way better. 5-1 on this road trip would have been way better than 4-2, in my honest opinion. Because winning the first 4, sweeping the Rays after the high we felt there, and especially after the high we felt after Game 1's win, feels a little bit disheartening, in my opinion. Not saying the season is over by a long shot. No. I still firmly believe this Phillies team is a playoff team. I firmly believe that. They're very frustrating. That's the problem. That is the major problem. They're very frustrating. And I need this offense to do way better in the second half. because it's going to be really neck and neck. And I really want you to battle for that first wildcard spot. I don't want to be pressuring, stressing to get a third wildcard spot again. I don't want to go through that. You have the 12th easiest schedule going into the second half. Find a way. Find a way. We do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline. You can leave those at 215-839-9885. Your thoughts and opinions and everything like that. So let's go to Sean, see what he says. I'm sure he's not happy.
Well, this road trip started out with a bang and ended with a whimper. And one thing is evidently sure after this 3-game series. The Marlins showed you why they're where they're at in the standings and why the Phillies are looking up at them. You can have the bigger payroll, the bigger names. Fundamentals always win in baseball. And give me their lineup that can hit with 2 strikes, that can put the baseball in play consistently and put pressure on a defense. I'll take that over the swing and miss that our lineup features every day of the week. The Marlins are not going away. Solid defense, professional hitters, and solid pitching, and they're just going to get better with what's coming through their pipeline. In closing, Aaron Nola to me is what James Harden is to the 76ers. If you want to bring him back next year on a low money deal per se, I'd bring him back. But if he's looking for big time cash, trade him now while you have the opportunity. This guy, when you need him the most, comes up the least. How many times have we seen this rerun with him before? That game was over in the bottom of the first inning. On a good team, he's nothing more than a number 3 to number 4 starter, never a top 2 guy, and if he's looking for big-time coin, he can look somewhere else.
I don't think they're trading Aaron Nola. I just don't see that happening. Especially if you're going on a playoff push, I just don't see that happening at all. Unless you get blown away by an offer, I don't see that happening. I don't agree with the take on the Marlins, though. I agree with most of the stuff you said there, Sean. I don't agree on the Marlins take. I think the Marlins are very fraudulent. Talk about professional hitting and all that stuff. They're very free swinging. They're a free swinging bunch. They relied on a lot of luck, and luck can only carry you so far. Their pitching is legit. I'll give you, the pitching is legit. I don't think their lineup is legit. They have 2 good hitters in their lineup, and that's Rhys and Soler, maybe De La Cruz. They barely hit for power, and that's what wins in this league anymore. You hit for power. I just don't see the Marlins as a good team. They're playing way above their heads, in my opinion. They're like I said, they're like the 2018 Phillies. That's how I see them. And if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. But they got the 5th most hardest schedule in baseball this second half. That'll prove to us what the Marlins are. Who knows? I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think they're very fraudulent, and we'll see what happens with them in the second half. So, and it's basically the same thing for the Phillies. Even though I believe they're a 20 times better team, and they're not playing to their full potential. But I don't know what you did with the trade deadline. I really doubt you trade Aaron Nola. I just don't see that happening. Like I said, unless you get blown away by an offer, which I don't think many teams are going to be offering Aaron Nola anything right now with the way he's pitching. I just don't see it. I don't see it. You're going to get a power bat to play the outfield when Harper goes to first base and Schwarber goes to DH. You're going to get a back-end reliever for the bullpen because guys are getting injured back there. Maybe someone to sprinkle the bench a little bit to get Josh Harrison off this roster. And maybe they get a back-end rotation guy. Maybe another back-end rotation guy. I just don't see them going for a high-end starter. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Looking at you guys in the chat right here. I guess the top 4 in the lineup forgot the All-Star break isn't until tomorrow. 0 for 14 with 7 Ks. Still going into the break with a positive feeling, knowing where we were and knowing where we are now. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah, it's road trip 4-2. It's a good way to look. It's just a very, very deflating feel going into it. Maybe now you could say the All-Star break can't come at the right time. Maybe that's the way you can look at it. I just want my team to be better. Nola can't pitch 2 games in a row for his life. Exactly. Offense is a problem still. Yeah, Nola wasn't good, but they scored 10 runs the entire series, and 3 were in the 9th inning on Friday. The core of this team isn't good enough, and Nick is a major slump. Castellanos will get better. Don't worry about that. Get Kyle Schwarber out of the leadoff spot. When your top 2 hitters are this bad in OPS, I don't understand how Thompson can keep putting them 1 and 2. One guy isn't fixing this. The rest of the team needs to wake up, but one guy will help supplement some power if you can get that into the lineup. The bullpen didn't fall apart. It's more of Nola in your offense. Stott shows he can hit lefties, just put him in the lineup every day. Exactly. The Mets are doomed. I feel like the hornier Schwarber is, the better he plays. Okay. Padres are 3-0 over the Mets. Yes, they are. I can see that right there. Wheeler hasn't been great, but at least he keeps you in games consistently. Yeah, that's the difference between Wheeler and Nola. Both are not having the best seasons, but Wheeler keeps you in games most of the times. I saw 2 stats, 9-13 in the division, and most of September is against the division. Also, they are 21-22 against playoff teams. Well, I think I brought this up yesterday when you brought up that type of record. The reason why their record was good last year was because they beat the teams that were under 500, i.e. the Marlins and the Nationals. Granted, the Marlins this year are not under 500, so they got to find those other teams to beat up on. And maybe the second half will prove it, because there are some really bad teams that they're playing in the second half, like the Royals, the Nationals again, even though they lost their service to the Nationals. Who else? Pittsburgh's not a good team. They're not as bad as they used to be, but they're not a good team. The Minnesota Twins, I know they're up there in the Central Division in the American League, but the American League Central is one of the worst divisions in baseball. The Angels are slumping. The Cardinals are not a good team. You play the Cardinals 6 times. And in essence, the Padres are not a good team right now. They got good pitching. Their offense isn't clicking at all. I guess you could say they're similar to the Phillies in certain ways. But you got to take advantage of the teams that are bad when you play them. 43 out of the last 73 left at home. Yeah, they got a lot of home games in the second half. A lot of home games. They got to take advantage of that. Braves, Dodgers, and Brewers are winning their divisions. I think the Reds honestly win the Central, just because of how hot they're getting. D-backs get the first wild card. Marlins get the second. The third spot will be between the Phillies, Mets, Cubs, Padres, and the Reds. It's interesting. I don't think the Mets were going to be involved, just because of everything. Can we trust Nola in the playoffs? Probably not. Probably not. This team needs to make a move in August when they are home for that many games. Exactly. Any on how Ohtani is coming to Philadelphia? I highly doubt we're trading for Ohtani. I highly doubt it. If they finish 6th, they play the Central team, then looks the NL West winner. Finish 4-5 if play the Braves in the NLDS again. Who knows? Watch them win the World Series based on luck. I'm assuming you're talking about the Marlins there. The Marlins are 21-6 in one-run games. That's why they are where they are. I couldn't name 5 guys on their team before this series. That's why I don't believe in them. I know, yes, they're really good at one-run games. That's accredited to their bullpen. But recently, their closer has blown some games, and he's prone to that. I just don't think their offense can keep up. I just don't buy their offense. Besides Rhys and maybe Soler. I just don't buy it. Essentially, Jorge Soler and Luis Rhys in their pitching has been carrying them to where they are. Lots of luck, too. Marlins are similar to the Mets of last year. Not a lot of home runs, small ball and pitching, and lots of luck. Every day, Mike Trout regrets staying in Anaheim. You meant, Ohtani coming in free agency. I still don't think he comes in free agency. I don't see that happening. He's going to the Dodgers, or he's going to the Yankees, or something like that. The Braves could play 500 baseball till the end of the season and still win 97 games. Yeah, that's how good the Braves are. But the Braves are probably going to win at least 105 games this year, because they have the 7th easiest schedule in baseball in the second half. I don't understand how that works. I don't. But it's where we are. It's where we are. Ay, ay, ay. This team, man. What else? I don't think there's anything here. I guess if we're looking at the draft, I can give you a couple of mocks to where people are projecting the Phillies to pick. Let me see. MLB mock draft 2023. Or I could just go to the top prospects in this draft. Top draft prospects 2023. Let's see. Show full list. The Phillies, like I said, I think they're drafting around 28, 27. A lot of people have this guy, Chase Davis, on their radar. He's ranked 22 on MLB's website, but a lot of people have him falling to the Phillies. What this guy is, top 100 prospect, of course, has major power, can hit for major pop. He's a major power hitter, good outfielder, 6'1", 21 years old, coming out of college. Got average speed, plays left field, but played center this in the Cape Cod League. I'm not sure. Let's see. So that's Chase Davis. Other guys, this Charlie Soto guy, that's ranked right where the Phillies draft. He's 17 years old, so he's a high school pitcher. He's 6'5" and can throw 100 miles an hour. So, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if the Phillies go that direction. But if they do go in the direction of starting pitching, I would prefer a lefty because I feel like we lack in the lefty starting department. Just a hunch there. I don't think we have many lefty starting pitchers in our system. A lot of righties. But yeah, you can get a power bat, get a pitcher. I don't know where they go. Don't know where they go. Braves win over 100 games again and lose in the NLDS. Then it will show your regular season nothing means nothing, just like the Braves, Mets, and Dodgers all won 100 games and lost before the NLCS. Could the Phillies pull it off and finish first place in the second half? With a stroke of luck. And some black magic. Because I do not see the Braves collapsing like the Mets do every year. I don't see that happening. Yeah, every season is a crapshoot. You forget the Braves swept the Phillies in 2021 in the last week of the season, eliminating them from the playoffs before they won the division and the World Series. Yeah. Some people have that frame of mindset. It's understandable. It really is. Some people view higher. But my expectations of the division completely dropped. Basically when Rhys Hoskins went down with an injury towards ACL. I feel like if Rhys was in the lineup, you'd be having a better record than you are, in my opinion. Let's see. Just where we are right now. Just as. But right now, we gotta pull through. 4-day break. Get some rest for this squad. And then come back with a heater against the Padres. 4-game series. Like I said, the pitching matchups for that series, I believe it's Christopher Sanchez, Taijuan Walker, Ranger Suarez, and Zack Wheeler for that series, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. It'll be Christopher Sanchez against Yu Darvish, Taijuan Walker against Blake Snell, Ranger Suarez against To Be Determined, and then Zack Wheeler against Seth Lugo. It is statistically improbable that the Phillies have any shot at first. The Braves could play 500 ball and win close to 100 games. Yeah, that's how good the Braves have been. The Phillies will have to go on an unsustainable stretch and probably win a lot, like 90% of their games, to even come close to getting first place. And that's probably not even going to cut it. Not even going to cut it at this rate. First wildcard spot is where you need to shoot for. And that's in reach. It would have been more in reach if you won this goddamn series, but we'll just wait and see. But that's going to do it for this video, everybody. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll come back at it tomorrow. Hangout stream during the Home Run Derby. We'll talk about, what happens with the draft and everything with the Phillies or anything like that. Or if there's any other breaking news with any other Philadelphia sports team, we'll definitely cover that too. If there's Flyers news or anything like that, if Sixers make a move, if they ever want to, or anything like that. Or if the Phillies make a trade, I doubt they'll make a good trade during the All-Star break, but you never know. You never know. It'll most likely be the Home Run Derby stream, just to hang out and all that stuff. So definitely stay tuned for that tomorrow. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out the description. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. Great times. Also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass that up.